Let's learn about a new chapter, that is physical divisions of India. So how is India physically on a map, geographically divided from other countries, other mountains across the India? Let's see. So let's first see what are the physical borders of India. The physical borders of India on all sides. So they are mighty mountains of Himalayas and fertile plains of North India. So on the northern side we have Himalayas, and from the plateaus of Deccan. So we have Deccan Plateau in the south, and then eastern and western coastal plains we have on the eastern and western side, and we have dry desert of Rajasthan on the north, and then on the northeast we have wet hills of Arunachal Pradesh. So these geographers usually divide India into 6 major physical divisions. They are the Great Northern Mountains, Northern Plains, Peninsular Plateau, Great Indian Desert, Coastal Plains, as well as the islands. Now let's study in detail about these 6 physical divisions. So first is the Great Northern Mountains. So these Great Northern Mountains consist of the Trans-Himalayan ranges as well as the Himalayan ranges. So first let's understand about the Trans-Himalayan ranges. These Trans-Himalayan ranges are nothing but a series of towering mountain chains. So they are like a big long towers. They origin from the Pamir Knot. When I say Pamir Knot, what does it mean? So Pamir is nothing but a plateau which is known as the roof of the world. This lies in the north of the Himalayas, and there is something called Karakoram. This is the northernmost mountain range of India, and the highest peak of this mountain range is known as Mount K2 or Godwin Austen, and this region lies in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. There is also Ladakh and Zanskar ranges which run across the Jammu and Kashmir from the northwest to the southeast. So in this image we see the Karakoram mountain range and the Godwin Austen mountains. So these are the northern side physical ranges of India, and this is also the Zanskar range of the Jammu and Kashmir region. The Himalayan ranges, they are divided in 3 parallel ranges. The northernmost is known as Greater Himalaya or Himatri, and then Middle Himalaya or Himachal, as well as the Shivalik range. Let's study about the Himatri. It is the northernmost range of the Himalayas, and the altitude is 6000 meters. This is the highest peak of the world, and some of them are Everest, Kanchenjunga, Makalu, Dhaulagiri, Nanga Parbat, Annapurna and Nanda Devi. These are some of the highest peaks of the world. Out of this, the Mount Everest is the highest peak of the world located in Nepal, and Kanchenjunga is the highest peak in India. This is the image of Mount Everest mountains. These are Mount Everest is the highest peak and it is located in Nepal. Next is Himachal, which is also known as Middle Himalaya. This lies south of the Himadri, and some of the famous hill stations situated in this area are Shimla, Kullu, Manali, Mussoorie, Nainital and Darjeeling. In this image you see the Shimla hill station. Next is Shivalik. This is the southernmost range, also known as Outer Himalaya. It is made up of unconsolidated loose deposits because they are flat valleys between the Himachal and Shivalik ranges known as dunes. For example, we have Dehradun, we have Patli Dun, etc. So this is the Dehradun situated in the Shivalik region. Next is the northern plains. They lie between the Himalayas in the north and Peninsular Plateau in the south region. So this is one of the most extensive plain in the world, because the northern plains are drained by 3 river systems, that is Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra rivers, and these plains are by rich alluvial soil and an area drained by a river system. This is known as a drainage basin or a river. An area which is drained by a river system is known as the drainage basin or river basin. So a river system consists of a main river, tributaries as well as the distributaries. So on the basis of this drainage system, the plains can be divided into 3 regions, that is Indus Basin, Ganga Basin and Brahmaputra Basin. The next is Peninsular Plateau. So to the southern part of this northern plains lies the Peninsular Plateau, which is triangle in shape, and the boundaries are Aravalli range in the northwest, Vindhya Satpura ranges in the north, and Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats towards the south, and the surface is always uneven, which consists of mountains, valleys and plateaus. And this peninsular plateau is divided into three parts known as Malwa Plateau, Chota Nagpur Plateau and the Deccan Plateau. So in this image we see different plateaus. This is the Indian plateau. The Malwa Plateau, this is located on the west of the peninsular plateau, and many tributaries of the Ganga river originate here, like the Chambal and the Son river. Next is Chota Nagpur Plateau. This lies in the northeastern part of the peninsular plateau. It is rich in minerals such as iron and coal. And the Malwa and Chota Nagpur Plateau together form the central highlands. Next is Deccan Plateau, which is triangular in shape, and it is located to the south of the Vindhya and Satpura ranges. This Deccan Plateau slopes towards the east, and this has many east flowing rivers which emerge from the Western Ghats and then they empty into the Bay of Bengal region. And this northern western part of the Deccan Plateau, this is the largest lava plateau in the world. This Deccan Plateau is rich in black soil, and this is the most important cotton growing region in the world. So this is a cotton field in the Deccan Plateau. Next is the Thar Desert. This lies in the western part of India. It is dry, hot and sandy stretch of the land. It gets less rainfall and it has very little rainfall, and it has very little vegetation. This is the image of Thar Desert in India. The next is coastal plains. So India has two strips of coastal plains. One is towards the west of the Western Ghats and other is towards the east of the Eastern Ghats. These both lie in the coastal plains, and the western coastal plain is very narrow. The eastern coastal plain is very broad. These plains have lot of east flowing rivers such as Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. All these drain into the Bay of Bengal. So these rivers have formed the fertile deltas at their mouth, fertile lands. The Sundarbans Delta is one such example where the Ganga and Brahmaputra flow into the Bay of Bengal. So this is the image of Sundarbans Delta and this is the image of river Godavari. Next is islands of India. So the two main islands of India are Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar. This Andaman and Nicobar, they lie in the Bay of Bengal and they are larger than the Lakshadweep Islands. They are also known as the Coral Islands. So both Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar Islands, they are of great importance to India for the purpose of trade, tourism as well as the defense. So this is the image of Andaman and Nicobar Islands which lie in the Bay of Bengal.